Hello, superstar. In this video, I'm going to get into how to scale a professional services business. Let's go. First, I'm going to get into the problems that people often encounter when they're scaling a professional services business. I'll share a little bit about my particular model for scaling. I'm going to get into a little bit of my story to give you some background about what I learned and how I learned it. Then we're going to get into the 7 key steps that I've developed that help you scale in the right order. One of the biggest problems with professional services businesses, and I know this from personal experience as well as from the clients that I've worked with, is that we end up getting into a paradigm where we're exchanging time and effort for money. Now that can be great in the beginning. It was for me when I first went into business for myself and I was immediately able to generate revenues. That's one of the benefits of it. But within a couple years, it was exhausting. It was exhausting, and you may have this experience yourself, because we end up having to sell more time to make more money, generally. Or we have to raise our prices. Most of the time in professional services, especially if we're charging hourly or by the project or session, there's kind of a limit to how much we can charge, right? There's some outliers that can charge way more than the average person, but by and large, there's an upper limit of how much you can charge, and there's an upper limit of how much time you have. So when you have that issue in professional services where you are the constraint, where you are the one providing the services, or even if you have a team providing it, there are these upper limits. So you'll want to look at ways to scale that monetize something other than your time or your effort. We'll talk about that. And what I've done is that I've put together these 7 steps that I wish I'd known from the outset. I learned these steps the hard way, and I went through all the steps, but kind of out of order. And what I've recognized is that this order actually matters. Now, before I dive into the steps, I also want to share a little bit about my story so you can understand how I learned these the hard way. When I started my business, this was now at this video recording 14 years ago, I started my business not from a vision. I had no clear idea of what I wanted to do, but I knew I needed to make money, and I needed to make money fast. I wasn't in a place where I had really amassed a lot of capital, or really none. I had some debt, actually. And so I needed to replace my income quickly. So I came from the energy of desperation and need. I didn't come from the energy of possibility and vision. So that was kind of mistake number 1. But I digress. So I got right away, I knew I had to make money, so I had to monetize my time. And what was available to me was, hey, I'll put together this business plan for you, or I'll sit with you and I'll map out this strategy for you, or I'll use my business skills to help you create a new roadmap for your company and I'll help you implement it. This is the only thing I really knew how to do at the time and what I could conceive of. I ended up doing that for 7 years. I did that for 7 years. I added a lot of layers, a lot of products, and ultimately I got really confused about who I was, who I served, what I offered, what my value proposition was. I was all over the place. I like to joke, and it wasn't funny back then, but I like to joke now that my business model was really, I could call it whatever I could do to make a buck. Anybody that crossed my path was somebody who was a potential client, which also meant that anybody who crossed my path that did something even remotely similar to me was potential competition. That's not a really fun way to live your life when you're always on alert looking for clients and trying to sell something or trying to, compete with somebody. So what I learned, the next 7 years were very different. I had a big old breakdown. Some of you know about that. I'm not going to get into that here. But that breakdown ultimately led to a breakthrough. I started working with a new business mentor, a new philosophy about business, and I reorganized my whole business and I focused it in on a specific audience, providing much, much fewer products and services, streamlining it, simplifying it, organizing it, and doing these steps that now I'm going to share with you. The result, quick fast forward to where I am now, I think you can gather from this video or maybe the hundreds of others that I have on my channel, I seem to have figured something out. It seems to be working for me. I make great money. I love what I do. I love who I do it with. I enjoy the experiences that I put together for people. My business is stable, it's scalable, it's sustainable, and it's suitable for who I really am. And before we do that, why don't you take a moment, like this video, subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other videos when you're done with this video, and maybe even post a comment or two below or a question that you'd like me to answer. I'd love to hear from you. So what I'm gonna share with you, I change the name of it all the time. At the moment, it's called my Superstar Business Building Framework, the Superstar Business Building Framework. And there are 7 steps, and the order of them matters. Now I'm gonna draw it out as a pyramid. And it's basically, the reason it's a pyramid is because we start with this foundation upon which everything else is built. And once we get to the top of doing all this, it becomes very powerful, and it's like sending out, I imagine it like sending out beacons of light through that top. Is like all the pressure builds until it explodes out the top, and it sends out impact and contribution and wonderful things to the world, okay? So we'll start here with the foundation, and that is personal alignment. Personal alignment, meaning that we're gonna build this business on top of who you really are, what you really love to do, what you're best at, what your magic is. A lot of times we build a business around who we think we should be, or what people tell us to do, or what the market wants. And what I've learned the hard way is that we want to start from within. Who am I really? What are my talents? What are my passions? What do I believe in? What matters to me? What's my purpose? These are all the questions that I invite you to ask of yourself first. So personal alignment first. This is all about who you are, what you believe in, and what you want out of your life. The second step is to look at the lifestyle you want to live. Meaning, how do I want to organize my life? How do I want my life to look? And there are 3 core areas for lifestyle. This is time, money, and people. How do I want to spend my time? What do I want to be doing day in and day out? How much money do I want to make? What do I need, and what's my dream amount? And really getting intentional and clear about what that is and how much is enough. And then finally, who do I want to spend my time with? Once we have clarity about the lifestyle, then we can start to look at what's the model of professional services that makes the most sense for where I want to go, that aligns with this vision, that aligns with who I really am. Now, a model can be time for money, selling hours, selling project work, right? That's one type of model, but there's so many other models out there that are interesting, especially as a professional with expertise. You can turn your professional expertise into a course. You can turn it into information products. You can turn it into a membership or a subscription where you deliver certain products or services in a more automated way. So there are lots of other models out there. You want to think about the model that aligns with your lifestyle and with your personality. And by the way, I have a whole video about what is a monetization model. So if you want to check that out, I'll link to it below so that when you're done with this video, you can watch the video about monetization models. The 4th thing to look at is your brand. Now, branding is hugely important for any business, but especially for a professional services business, and especially to scale one, because your brand is what represents you out in the world. Now, without a solid brand, generally you have to do a lot more activity to land business. And that can be really exhausting. At least it was for me. But when you build a brand, in particular, when you build a brand of thought leadership, where you're bringing your expertise to the world through blogging, through podcasting, through speaking, through books, through all of these ways that represent you in the world, what you'll find is generally you have to do a lot less marketing and clients start to flow to you. So branding is that expression of your personality and your business in the world. And I liken it to like a butterfly garden that attracts butterflies. So by the way, I have a whole bunch of videos on thought leadership branding and how to position yourself as a thought leader to attract more business. If you want to check those out, I'll also link to those below so you can watch it when you're done with this video. Now, the 5th thing to look at, I mentioned it earlier, is marketing. Marketing is very closely related to branding, but I distinguish them because marketing requires constant and continuous activity. The marketing is the continuous dissemination of your brand out in the world. So this can come from, say, podcasting or broadcasting, right? Like these YouTube videos are a marketing strategy for me. This is how I find, or how I let other people find me and come to me. So your marketing also, you want it to be aligned with who you are. You don't want marketing to be something that you hate doing, that you resist or that you resent. And that's one of the biggest problems I see with professional services businesses, which is that they hate the marketing that they quote unquote have to do, that they're forced to do. So I invite you to consider what kind of marketing would be joyful and energy rich on an ongoing basis. What would you love to do? What would be easy? Next, of course, we can't have a successful business without sales. Now, early on in professional services, and this is how I used to do it, you might be doing a lot of the sales yourself. You might be writing a ton of proposals. This was really not fun for me. And for most of the people that I know in these types of businesses, not fun for them either. So you want to look at how can you create sales in a more scalable way? How can you streamline sales? If it is fundamental and necessary for you to do the sales, then how can you make it easy to put really good sales calls on your calendar? This is one of the big things that right now I'm figuring out. With the rise of this YouTube channel and the increased volume of opportunities and leads coming in, how can I streamline those so that I'm getting the right fit people onto my calendar, right? So creating a system or a process for sales is really important. And that leads us to number 7, which is scale. And the scale is the operational piece. It's the operations and the systems and the processes to support all of this. And really, in my opinion, to support this in order on the way down. Like first, optimizing sales, because that's the most important thing. You don't want to lose or have leaks in the process when it comes to sales. Optimizing marketing, optimizing the brand, like scaling the operation so that you can deliver more value to your clients. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you are a professional service provider and you are looking to scale your operation and you want to do it in a way that's joyful, aligned, and energy rich, let's connect. You can find me and book a time with me for free at superstardiscoverycall.com/go. I look forward to meeting you.